Hi everyone, my name's Stephanie. I'm an Australian prep teacher and resource creator. In today's video, I'm just going to give you 3 quick tips on how to handle challenging behaviours. So this first tip can work beautifully in your whole class or even just one-on-one with an individual student, but it's to talk quietly. So if you have a class or a student that's very loud, everything's all riled up, the best thing you can do is to talk quietly. I swear this works every time. So just to say, my class is really chatty, and all I do is I get their attention and I just talk to them in the calmest, softest voice, and it seriously just brings the energy down. So if you talk to your students very calmly, there's a term called sharing your calm. Basically, you're sharing your calm with the students. Or if there's a student that's really upset or really angry or something's happened, just get down to their level. I like to actually bob down so we're eye to eye, and I'll just talk really calmly. Hey, what's going on? Do you want to talk to me about what happened? Just, if I went into the student like this, what happened? Oh my goodness, that's just like the opposite effect that I'm going to want. They're going to get even more upset. But if you get down into the level, just be very calm. Hey, what's going on? What happened with so-and-so over there? Do you want to tell me about what happened? Just deliver it in that way. Honestly, it is the best tip that I ever learned. This next tip is probably one that you're already doing, but it's a really good one, so it's worth mentioning. But basically it's about being very loud and noticing the expected behavior. Okay, so rather than focusing on the negative behavior, focus on the positive expected behavior. So just say you want your students to sit on the floor without touching anybody, ready to learn from the whiteboard or whatever. And if you have like a little student that's probably not doing the expected behavior, don't draw attention to it. Draw attention to the positive behavior. And with preps, you can really go over the top. So I'm just going to use my siblings' names in this, but you might be like, Nick, Jane, guys, look at Nick and Jane. They are sitting so beautifully. Jane, you've got your legs crossed. Nick, you've got your legs to the side, but look, he's not touching anybody. Look at that. You guys look so ready to learn. Let's all do that too. So focus on the behavior that you want to see rather than drawing attention to the negative behavior. This last tip is one that I learned listening to a podcast on a child psychologist, and it was a really great one. If you have a child that's has some challenging behaviors, what you really need to do is to just almost focus in on them and just find something positive that they do and just go all over it. So just say they came to the floor quietly. Let them know that you noticed. Say, Stephanie, I saw the way you came to the floor so calmly then. That was amazing. Or in this podcast, the example was that the student walked through the door calmly, and that's where that student was at. So you might say, oh my goodness, I love the way you came into the classroom so calmly without touching anybody, Stephanie. Amazing. So really, it can be hard for a student with challenging behaviours. They don't want to be in trouble all the time. I bet you they don't. They're probably crying out for some attention, and that's being reflected in their behaviour. So try and notice the positive things they do, even if you have to watch them like a hawk, just to find something, and then just let them know, love on them. And even if it's the tiniest thing, because everybody, myself, little kids, everybody thrives on positive feedback. So if you have a child with challenging behaviors, really try and focus on their positive. So just to recap those 3 quick tips, number 1 was about talking to your students very calmly, very softly. Share your calm with them because it does bring the energy down. Tip number 2 was about focusing on the behavior that you want to see. Try not to draw attention to the behavior that's not expected. Really focus and go over the top about the expected behavior. And number 3 was about, with those students with challenging behaviors, really try and notice the positive things they do and let them know that you saw that, and just really love on them, so that they get that positive reinforcement. So I hope you find these tips helpful. As always, if you could hit like and hit subscribe, it would mean a lot to me. I'll see you next time.